Yeah, really good win Saturday. Obviously, Bowling Green coming off a great win against Georgia Tech on the road and played really good football against them. And we played really good in all three phases. Obviously, very bizarre game from not how you planned it. There were 7 possessions in a football game, which I've never seen a 7-possession football game in college. Both teams had the ball 7 times. Thought the wind would be a factor. We're going to defer. We've been taking the ball to try to be aggressive, but we're going to defer because of the wind and try to see if we get a stop and make them punt in the wind. They won. They deferred. Makes sense. We get the ball and we methodically plot it down the field. A bunch of key nothing plays on third down, but third and four. Not anything special, not anything flashy, but really, I always say the little catches mean a lot because it keeps drives alive. And we kept the drive alive, and we ran the ball good on the drive. We got all the way down there, and you look up, and there's 11:30 gone in the first quarter, and that's, they got 30 minutes with the wind, 2 quarters with the wind, and we've basically taken 1 quarter with the wind away. And we're up 7-0. We kind of set the tone for the whole game. Defense gets a stop, and then we get the ball and we start driving again. And next thing you know, we're in the second quarter. So the huge advantage of having the win was negated by a really good first drive and then a good stop defensively. Second drive, unfortunate. We're moving it. We got a chance to go up 10, 14, nothing. Second quarter, and we fumble. So we got to obviously take care of the football. That was a low light for the day, was just that drive ended with a turnover for no reason. Good play by them, stripping it. Bad play by us, not securing it. And then plotted through. Then the key of the game after that to me is a drive at the end of the first half was ugly. It wasn't, but we got it down there and we got the ball in the end zone and we make a nice strong catch to Mersch. We talk every week about being ready. It's so hard nowadays. Everything's about targets. Everything's about touches. Everything's about me. There's, aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandfathers, mothers talking about targets, and the whole world. And Mersch has really worked his tail off and is a good player, but we have other good players and got his moment, makes a really huge catch for us. And then the stop coming out of the half, they put together a nice drive. It's 14-0. We're in control, but one score and all of a sudden you're in a dogfight, and our defense gets that 4th down stop and gets off the field to start the third quarter, and then we drive down, extend the lead, and so really solid victory. All 3 phases good. Obviously, offense had the ball for 40 minutes, ran the ball 47 times. Not necessarily the plan, but just the way the game flowed. We ran the ball really effectively. Our O-line did a really nice job of not giving up penetration. And they blitz a lot, and we didn't always knock them off the ball. Sometimes we did, but we didn't give up penetration. Our backs did a good job of being patient and getting a lot of tough yards. We threw the ball very efficiently. Brett was excellent throwing the football. He was excellent running the ball. He was excellent managing the game. He helps our offense so many different ways. A lot of it's physical, but a lot of it's with his brain too, of maybe getting us in a right protection at a certain time or a right route or anything. So he was mentally really, really good. And physically, obviously, his numbers were fantastic. So first shutout since 2007. Hard to get shutouts, obviously. It's just hard to do it. And so getting that done. And so it was just good all-around victory. Played really solid football on both sides of the ball in ST, and Graham kicked the ball great.
I'm going to make David Saylor happy now because he wondered why I didn't ask Saturday about injuries. So how'd you guys come out physically?
Yeah, we came out of it good. That's one of the best games we've come out of, maybe because it was such a short game and so few plays, but we came out of it good.
What do you think has allowed you guys to kind of control games in so many different ways? You've been strong defensively the past couple of weeks. You had that big play potential the first few weeks of the season, and then obviously this week with that much time of possession. What do you think allows you to be so successful in so many different ways?
Yeah, you're always hoping that you can do that. You don't always have the team that can do that, and it evolves every year. I wasn't sure. That was a weird game. That was not how we've been playing games all year. 47 runs and 18 passes. We've been the other way in a lot of games. So we'd like to run and throw. We'd like to be able to defend the run and defend the pass. We'd like to be able to. We've talked every day about good teams, great teams can play any style. They're not one-dimensional. They're not. They got to play high. Some teams just play high-scoring games, you know. And when it's not a high-scoring game, it's really out of their comfort zone. Other teams really good at low-scoring games, you know. And if it's a little tight and close to best, that's their wheelhouse. And you know, talked about 2019 when we were really young. Brett was a freshman, and we were really young on offense. We had a really good defense and really good specialists. You know, our thing was just keep the game down and play a tight, close to best game, and then that's our style. And anytime it was like that, we won. And we knew we were going to win because we were like, they like to score points. They're not scoring points. This is our wheelhouse. So far this year, halfway through, we got a long way to go. We've been able to play more of a wide open game against UMass, you know, where it's up and down the field and a lot of big plays and throwing the ball more often than running it. Obviously, that night we threw it a lot at UMass. To Cincinnati, which was just a kind of a wild game all over, back and forth, nonstop, but a lot of big plays. To, Kent State was really lean on the defense and lean on the defense. And kind of yesterday or Saturday was this kind of offense was controlling the football game, and we were out there, and they can't score when we're out there, and so it was similar score to Kent, but to me, Kent was a defense. Like, we just chipped in on offense and did enough and got, kind of stayed out of their way, kind of pitched in, did where the other Saturday, even though it was a shutout and it was 23-3 or 27-0, the score is totally different game, even though the scores are almost identical. Like, defense just kind of pitched in and helped out and got us, got their 7 stops. We just kind of watched us methodically plod and hold the ball the whole game. And again, the goal wasn't, we were trying to score, wasn't trying to hold the ball, but just the way it played out. So I think good teams can do that. Great teams can play any style, but I think we're showing that we can kind of adapt to what's going on and lean on either side of the ball. But we're good everywhere. We like to think we could be great together. That's the goal. I don't think we're great everywhere. I don't think we're just there's just this dominating football. But I think we're a good football team. I think when we play the game the right way, we're, like I say it all the time, we're not an easy team to beat. We're certainly beatable. But we're not an easy team to beat. I don't think anybody in our league plays us and thinks, well, Miami, that's going to be an easy game. We're going to come and play. If we play good, then we're a hard team to beat. And when we play together, we're better, whether the sum of the parts or the sum of the whole, however that thing goes. Like, we're not, people don't look at us and go, wow, they're just amazing creatures. But I think they think, hey, they're really solid and you're going to have to play well to beat them.
Coach, obviously Miami's best start since 2003. Would you say, just right now, would this be maybe your best, most talented team you've had here at Miami so far?
Yeah, I really don't think that. I think we're good. Again, everybody bases everything on records, and we usually get tortured with a non-league schedule that we usually start 1-3, and before the season started, everybody thinks we stink. And then we usually fight and scratch and claw and have a pretty damn good MAC football team. That's why we're 35-16 in the MAC. Last 51 games, or 36-16 now. 36-16. So, but usually it's masked by our non-league schedule. We're 17.5-point underdog to Cincinnati, a 24-point underdog to Iowa, and a 42-point underdog to and that's where Western Michigan's sitting. Like, they've played at Mississippi State, at Syracuse, and at Iowa. Well, they're supposed to lose those games by a wide margin. Like, they're not even supposed to be in those games. So they're 2-4, but they're 1-1 in the MAC with a loss to Toledo and an 18-point win against Ball State. Well, it's but on the public perception, well, they're not. They're 2-4. Well, look who they played. All right, look who they played. They're supposed to be 1-3 non-league, and they're 1-3 non-league. They did exactly what they're supposed to be. The school made a lot of money off their non-league games. They didn't do their football team any favors. That's a fact. That's sad, but it's a fact. All right, and then they had Toledo down 24-14 with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Everybody knows Toledo's one of the best teams in the league. They had Toledo down 24-14 with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. And then Toledo played really good the last 21 minutes, and Western didn't, and ended up being a 49-31 defeat. It got a little crazy at the end of the game, but they were, against a team that everybody thinks is the best team in this league preseason and probably right now. They were up by 10 points with 6 minutes to go in the third. They're pretty good, and then they got after Ball State pretty good. So, to me, I think I've had good teams for the last 7 years. I've had really good MAC teams. Some years we've been a little better. Some years we've been a little worse. Some years our quarterbacks got hurt. I think we're 31-9 our last 40 MAC games that our starting quarterback started and finished the game. That's pretty insane good. So I think we've had a good team for a long time. We had a 5-1 record. A lot of it has to do with non-league scheduling. We had a 1AA. We got to go. We still had 3 road games. We got to go to UMass, and we were favored at UMass. We should have won. We were favored, not by a ton, whatever, 7, 8 points, but we should, on paper, we're supposed to win that game. So you got a chance to be 2-2, you know. And we're 2-0 in the league. Well, we've been good in the league forever. We've been good in the league since I think I was, whatever we were, my first 3 years, we were 4-20 something, or 4-18 my first 22 MAC games. But since then, we've been as good as anybody in the league for 7+ years. So I think this is another really good MAC football team. How it ends up, we got 6 weeks left. We got a long way to go, but there's a lot of tough games ahead of us. But I don't think this is your best. No, I don't think so. I think we've had a lot of. I think it's a really good football. It's a really good MAC team. I don't think we're a really good Power 5 football team. You know, and like I said, when we beat Cincinnati, like the key to being Cincinnati was playing UMass the week before. I'm just telling you. You have no idea what it is to run an organization. Like, you can't just beat the organization down over and over and over and expect them to keep bouncing up off the. It don't work. So we get beaten down at Miami. Okay, it's part of the deal. It's part of the deal. We went down there, took our shot. We didn't play very well. They kicked our, you know what, you know. And then go to UMass, and then you get your confidence back, and you get a little mojo going, and you have some success, and you feel good. And now you're walking into UC week, and your team feels really good. Where other years we've just had another Power 5 team, and then you're beat down again, and then you got to go try to play Cincinnati, who's really good. All right, I know their record ain't great, but they're the only team that slowed down Oklahoma. They're a good football team. They could be undefeated. They just haven't found ways to win games. They found ways to lose games. But to me, the scheduling is why we're 5-1 is because scheduling this year. As I said this 10 years ago, it's so critical in this league. If you want to give your team a chance, if it's important to you, it's a huge deal, and it's been a huge deal this year. It got us. Then we beat Cincinnati. Now our mojo is really good. Then you got your 1AA, which you should take care of business. Delaware State, and you do, and then now you're feeling great going into league play. We've never felt. Go inspire the masses and try. Like, usually there's kids quitting, there's kids dropping out, there's kids don't want to play. They're 4 games in. They don't want to burn their red shirt. They're not getting enough touches. And we still have those issues. But there's a lot less issues when you're 3-1. Kids are listening a lot more. It's a lot easier to inspire the masses when you're having success, and so you start off every year failing, and then you have to. And we've done it. We've done it. It's an amazing job we've done here as a staff. Period. End of story. Anybody knows anything about sports will tell you that. We start off 1-3, start off 1-3, start off 1-3, and then to right the ship. This year we're 3-1. It's a lot easier to head into conference play with a lot of. Because we have had a lot of success through 3 weeks, and you're feeling really good, and you're on a 3-game win streak, and you had a great win over Cincinnati, and you had you had 2 road victories already, so it's just totally different year. Things that we've normally had to work through, we haven't had to work through. All right, so it makes a big difference. I think we got a good team, but we went 6 straight wins our 3rd year in MAC play. We were 6-2 in the MAC. The next year, 2017, we go 4-4 in the MAC. Well, Gus Rags is my starting quarterback. We go 3-1 with Gus. We beat 2 6-2 teams with Gus. We lose to 2 of the worst teams without our starting quarterback. We go 4-4. Our backup goes 1-3. Our starter goes 3-1. We had a good MAC team that year. We're 4-4. It didn't look as good, but our quarterback got hurt. The next year, we go 6-2 in the MAC. All right, Buffalo went 7-1. We didn't get the MAC champ, but we went 6-2. All right, the next year we go 7-2. We win the MAC championship. We would have been 8-1 in the MAC. If we had beat Ball State, we'd have left our starting quarterback in the last game. We were 7-1 with our starting quarterback starting, and we would have easily been 8-1 if we left our starter in that day at Ball State. The next year was COVID. We play 3 games. It's a disaster. So many, we're 2-1 in the MAC, but that was a disaster, start to finish. I mean, that in my mind, we just got through that year. It was miserable for everybody. We played 3 games. Okay, the next year we go 5-3 in the MAC. And we lose 48-47 in overtime, and we miss a 2-point play, or we're right back in the MAC championship. Last year we go 4-4. Well, we don't have our starting quarterback, and we fought to go 4-4 with our backup quarterback, and AV fought his tail off for us, So I mean, we get MAC play. We got a chance to win every week. You get a chance to lose every week. Everybody knows that in this league. There's a lot of close games that people, this shouldn't be close. It's close, Who thought Buffalo was going to kill Central last week? It's every week. Central turned it over a few times, and Central was favored, and their records burned Buffalo, and Buffalo was 0-4 non-league, but Buffalo's now 2-0, but a lot of it has to do with who you play non-league. Don't worry about those non-league records in this league, And then other teams get off to good starts, and they got cake not. There's teams in our league that have easy non-league schedules. And they take advantage of them. So to me, it's week to week when we get a league, but we're always going to have a chance in this league. We have a really good football team. If you ask anybody in our league, we got a really good football team. We got a really program. We probably have the most stable program, as consistent program. We're going to be there every single year, fighting and scratching, clawing to be one of the best teams in this league.
Obviously, a few things have changed last year to this year with your team. As far as Western Michigan goes, have you noticed any things that stick out to you about changes in their, personnel or program? And was there anything that could be learned from last year to this year as far as your approach to them this time around?
Yeah, obviously they got after us last year at home. We lost, I think, 17-13, maybe 16 to what? 16-10. Yeah, 16-10. Another low-scoring, hard-fought game. Their defense really took to our offense. So it's interesting. They got a new head coach who's an offensive guy, but they kept their defense coordinator, Coach Esposito. I've known since he was at St. Joe's. I've coached against him for years, and he's done an unbelievable job. So defensively, there is a lot of similarities because they have their same defense coordinator. They have their same D-line coach. I don't know if they have any other defensive guys that are the same, but I know, and he's been a really good defense coordinator at many schools for a long time, and Western's always been very salty on defense and got after you on defense. They lost a lot of personnel on defense, so there's a lot of new faces. We're sorting through those here, 24 hours at a game planning, trying to figure out who all the new faces are because they lost some seniors and they lost some transfers. When they let the coach go, they lost a D lineman in Indiana, D lineman in Florida. Like, it's hard enough now, but it's even harder when you have a transition. What Kent went through and they lost their offensive coach, lost all their, you're going to lose a lot of good guys. So they lost some good players to graduation. They lost some good players on defense to the transfer portal when they made the coaching change. Offensively, they've been running the ball really good. The head guy was a running backs coach, so anytime, like I said, Northern Illinois got a running backs coach. Now that's the head coach. Northern Illinois runs the ball really good. Like that's their baby, And now you got a running backs coach that's now head coach at Western, and they're not surprised. I always think, okay, what does that guy do? They're probably going to be pretty good at what he does, And they have been really good. Their tailback, I think, is leading the league in rushing, maybe. He was, if he wasn't, I think the guy from Northern might have passed because he rushed for 280 last week. Same deal I'm talking about. The two guys leading the rush and their head coaches played running back, or were running back. So they've been running the ball really good. They do a lot with their RPOs. They do a lot of up-tempo stuff. So it'll be similar to Kent as far as they like to push the pace and get you on your heels. And so they've had a decent amount of success on offense almost consistently throughout the year. They put 28 points up on Mississippi State, which again speaks to how good. I know they didn't beat Mississippi State, but it was a 10-point game in the fourth quarter. Like, the MAC teams are good football teams. We've got 4 Power 5 wins, and there's Toledo shoulda, woulda, coulda beat Illinois. They had them beat, lost in the last seconds. You look at that game last week, they're right in it in Starksville against Mississippi State, who just beat LSU, and Western Michigan's not getting run. It's what I said was 38-28 in the fourth quarter, and they got a chance to win a football game. So they're a good MAC team, and they've been really good for a long time. Obviously, with the coaching transition, first year, there's some new things, but it'll be a very tough road test.